My Journey at Attentive Social Enterprise by Julia Popilarek. The Beginning. I heard of Attentive from my sixth form's career opportunity emails, advertising the role of becoming a youth ambassador. The email caught my eye, and even though I was hesitant to reply at first, I figured there was nothing to lose if I apply. I was directed to Montel, was sent an application form to fill out, and following a successful application, I got offered a date for an interview. I was very excited to have this opportunity, even to just be interviewed, since it was my first proper interview. However, I was also extremely nervous on the day. I got offered the role of a youth ambassador in May of 2021, and through the year between then and now, I've been part of various sectors of Attentive's work, gaining an outstanding variety of skills along my journey. Early weeks. In my early days of being a youth ambassador at Attentive, I got involved in primarily two tasks, the Be Safe project and Stories of Identity. The Be Safe project was a project centered around educating and spreading awareness about different topics regarding safety. Resources produced ranged from infographics to educational videos and motivational posters. A wide range of topic was covered, from county lines and violence against women and girls, all the way to psychological violence and cyberbullying. Here are some of my favourite motivational posters I produced in my early days at Attentive. Through a trial and error approval process, I learned about colour composition and what fonts to use, and also which to avoid, in order to make the posters appealing and accessible to all. Stories of Identity focused on educating through storytelling. Youth ambassadors picked a topic of concern which revolved around someone's identity and created a fictional but realistic narrative around it. My Stories of Identity video centered on sexism and homophobia within work sectors seen as traditionally male-dominated, such as construction. In-person meeting July 2021. This was the first time meeting most of the team in person. Even though it was labelled as a meeting, it was much more eventful than an average meeting. It was a chance to practice photography skills, mind map ideas, and even explore creating poetry. Youth Ambassador Week, August 2021. One of the first longer in-person events in Attentive that I participated in. The week, like the Work Experience Weeks, was filled with a wide variety of useful and insightful activities. These ranged from photography, mind mapping in groups, and discussions to presentations by other members of Attentive about presentation skills, safeguarding, and the Freedom Programme, focused on domestic abuse and the different types of oppressors, and also one from me about making motivational posters. Even in just a few months, I had developed from a quite shy and not so confident individual who just joined Attentive to someone who was willing to deliver a presentation to a small group about motivational poster making. Ufology. Ufology is Attentive's radio show featured on AUK Radio, an online radio station, every Wednesday from 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. I have the pleasure to host this with fellow colleagues from Attentive. The show centres on all things youth, with the topics being anything the youth would consider relevant, helpful or informative. Throughout the show's existence from July 2021 to the current day, we've had many guests from a huge variety of professions, ranging from directors of companies and learning trusts to charity workers and those involved in local authority. Work Experience Week, October 2021. Similarly to the Youth Ambassador Week, the Work Experience Week was packed with various interactive and engaging activities for members of the team as well as the participants. I even got my own spotlight moment when talking about my work for the radio. Not only does the week consist of various activities which aid in gaining various skills, it also consists of influential figures in various fields coming in as guests. Guests such as North Luton MP Sarah Owen, as well as other powerful individuals in education, policing, business, etc. Work Experience Week, April 2022. Another week full of insightful and informative activities. Looking back at the Youth Ambassador Week and the previous Work Experience Week, my progression in skills, especially confidence and communication, was truly a little surprising. In-person meeting, May 2022. Much like the first in-person meeting almost a year prior, this meeting also revolved around developing skills. However, it was different as it was centered on presentation skills. Youth ambassadors were instructed to read a few slides of a presentation, applying a different effect when reading a new slide, for example reading in a higher pitch or reading in a different tone. Similarly to other activities in Attentive, this was to encourage people to exit their comfort zone and view the skills required to present through an unconventional lens. This was also relevant in the debates during the Work Experience Weeks. My roles. During my time at Attentive, I've had a few titles as I progressed up the structure by gaining more skills and getting involved in more things, starting off as a youth ambassador in May of 2021, progressing onto the post of deputy team leader, then radio coordinator, and most recently having the pleasure of becoming the team leader. Through those different roles, I learned a lot of valuable skills which can still be acquired by being a youth ambassador. I've gained skills such as networking, communication skills, presentation skills, being a good leader, leading meetings, supporting the team, and many more. Honourable mentions. Some honourable mentions for events include Partridge High School Another Way. This was the first workshop I attended to observe by Attentive, centred around the importance of choices and their consequences. Choose the Right Path, attending on behalf of Attentive, a knife crime awareness event by young people at Torquay Youth Centre, and Know Your Community, Central Bedfordshire College, raising awareness about the work Attentive does amongst teachers and educating on other components of communities. Would I recommend Attentive? Wholeheartedly, yes. It is such an amazing opportunity which opens so many doors, experiences, and develops so many skills. If you're a passionate, enthusiastic, and committed person, then this is certainly the right role for you. Being an Attentive has aided me in discovering more about myself as well as the community I'm part of, and I'm so incredibly glad I took that risk of applying back in May 2021. Thank you for listening. This was My Journey by Julia Popularic. If you want to find out more about the radio, feel free to watch my video on ufology, and if you'd like to know more about Attentive, visit www.attentive.com.